Now, I'm sure that almost all of you are well aware of the debate between Jordan Peterson and Cathy Newman on Channel 4 News. Seems like the whole world is aware of it. And loads of people have made videos about this, and I thought, well, I'll chip in my little two penneth. And I'm just going to concentrate on one question that she asked Jordan Peterson, which I would have loved to have faced in the studio. And it's very easy to say what you would have said if you'd have been there, but I'm quite sure it's much more difficult when you're there. But this was a very easy question to answer when she asked him why only 7 of the CEOs of the heads of the biggest companies in Britain, the FTSE 100, were women. And he didn't actually get around to really covering that because she asked him 3 questions at the same time. But I would have said to her regarding that particular question, so what? Because I don't care who is the chairman of the board on any of these companies. I don't care whether they're a man or a woman, or whether they're white or they're black, or they could be a duck-billed fucking platypus as far as I'm concerned. I'm not interested. And I would also point out, or I would ask her, I'd say, well, do you really think that the overwhelming majority of your viewers could care less about this? And how on earth does it affect them? Because what she's talking about is numerical equality. How many times does it have to be pointed out to these feminists? Numerical equality, equality of outcome, which Jordan Peterson mentioned, and equality of opportunity are completely different things. It seems these feminists, they want a socially engineered society to suit their own ideology. And companies, it's cultural Marxism, it's communism, social engineering, and it's a disaster. Companies don't care about the emotions or ideology of feminists like Cathy Newman. They care about assets and liabilities. And if I were on the board of directors at Channel 4, I would consider Cathy Newman to be a liability, and I would get rid of her. And I'd furthermore point out that she made a colossal mistake. She said 7 women at the heads of these 100 companies. There are not 7, there are 6. Moya Green, who is one of the women I assume she was referring to, who runs the Royal Mail. The Royal Mail dropped out of the FTSE 100 last fucking year. Might have been September, I think. So who does the research for her? Does she do it herself? Shame on her, all the researchers, for not knowing that. And of the 6 other women who sit on these as chairman of the board, so to speak, 1 runs a pharmaceutical company, 1 runs a tobacco company, and another runs a company that has built its profits by selling alcohol. So you could effectively say that half of the women on these chairing these boards peddlers of legal drugs. Anyway, as I'd mentioned Moya Green, I just say this: she did make, when she used to work for the Canadian equivalent of the Royal Mail, worked for Canada, the Canadian Post Office, she did triple the profits, which is an incredible feat. But at the same time, complaints against the company went up by almost 60%, and injuries went up very considerably as well. As far as I'm aware, the only injuries that post office postmen and postwomen get are dogs biting them. So maybe even dogs are getting fed up of the feminisation of the workplace. And since she's been running the Royal Mail here, she's had complaints from the union as well. So where the hell was I? Yeah, I think also if she'd allowed me to even mention it, because she was so interruptive throughout this entire debate, I think I would have asked her. And of course the reporters usually say, if someone asks them a question, they'll frequently say, look, I asked the question, do you give the blah blah blah. But I'd ask her, well, do you think that you'd be any good on the board of directors as a chairwoman? Because you've given Jordan Peterson a hard time like that. What's going to be like for how are the rest of the board going to feel if you speak to them in that manner? I'm just imagining her as sitting on the chairman as chairwoman on the board of directors, on which I was sitting. Let's say I was the sales director, and I can see Cathy Newman ask me something along the lines of, well, Feminazi Detox Clinic, you're the sales manager. What are our quarterly results going to be? Well, Miss Newman, we're doing very, very well indeed, actually, and our projected results, which are going to be approximately 14.2% rise for the quarter in sales. So what you're saying is we're going down the fucking toilet. And that's, you know, I can imagine her saying that. No, Cathy, and I'm projecting even better quarterly sales for our next quarter, and we're not going down the toilet. We're doing very well. We're taking sales away from our main rival, and people are preferring our products because they are like people, like men and women who pick the jobs in life that they want instead of allowing feminists to try and dictate to them. These people are picking over our company over our rivals. They are exercising their right to choose. So what you're saying is you want to take away the rights of Jews? No, I didn't, Cathy. That is the kind of nightmare I can imagine having with this bloody woman. And I was looking at the FTSE 100 top companies, and one of the companies is Tesco's, and it's sort of like a British equivalent, for those who don't know, of the United States Walmart. They sell pretty much absolutely everything there. Now, I used to use I used to go to one of their stores on a regular basis, and I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed my shopping experience. When I go shopping, I'm not interested in who's working in what department or what they're getting paid, or how many men are on the meat counter, how many women are in the pharmaceutical part of things. I don't care. All I want is a nice shopping experience, Cathy. And when I get to the till, I don't care who's sitting on the till, who's on the checkout. I don't care whether they're white or black, or whether they're a Sikh with a turban or a Muslim woman with a hijab. I don't care, so long as there isn't a queue. So what you're saying is, so long as there isn't a Jew. And I could crack little jokes like that for fucking ever on exactly the same lines. The woman is a bloody nightmare. God help us. God save us from feminists, please. Thank you very much.